is not a war. This is an extermination.
But, fast forward to 2005, and there was not one, not two, but 3 War of the Worlds movies. Yeah, there's the one that was directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Tom Cruise, which at the time it came out, I was not a fan of because, I was a kid and it was my favorite book. So I was like, oh, this is like, they made it too much of an action movie. I had little dumb quips about that. Now, I don't really care about that now. I mean, it's honestly just a difficult book to adapt. Yeah, I wanted to see every adaptation of it, and there was 3 in the course of 1 year. I can admit that it's good now because it's got a lot of really cool set pieces. I think the only thing I don't really like about the movie is I don't like the way they do the laser blast where it turns people into dust. I think it seems silly, and even when I watched it the first time, before I saw any parodies of it, I just thought it was like kind of a dumb effect. And I also don't like that the aliens come from the ground. And Steven Spielberg's explanation as to why he made that change, instead of them coming from the sky, he was like, oh, I want them to come from the ground because we've seen them come from the sky a million times. But I don't know, you're adapting the War of the Worlds. You're not adapting like V or whatever. That's the story. That's the template. And I don't know, I just was not a fan of that part of the book, of the movie. But I really like the relationship with the daughter specifically, which Dakota Fanning is like, as a kid she was so strange because she felt like an adult in a child's body, and it always kind of weirded me out, and she's definitely like full adult in child's body in that movie. But I really like the quiet moments where he's like singing to her that calm her down when he's about to go kill that crazy guy. I really like what they did with the son. The ending feels very, very rushed, but maybe that's the point. But it's a movie I continually go back to because I think it's pretty great, honestly. I also really like the David Michael Latt version that came out the same year. This was the movie that kind of spawned Asylum's whole mockbuster thing, because I believe this was the first one they did that with. And the history behind it was David Michael Latt, he wanted to make a War of the Worlds movie, and he was in the production of it, and they go, hey, sorry, you can't make it. Steven Spielberg's going to make it now. So he had this script, and he was like, well, you know what? I have my own studio. I'm just going to make my own version. And he did, and I really like the direction he took with it. It's just the budget kind of... This was before the mockbusters just got like straight up bad. I think there's a lot of good ideas in his version. It's just the budget's so poor, and I really feel like he captured more so of the mood of the book with a modern setting. I tell you, but there was another version that came out from the same year from Pendragon Pictures, I believe, and I don't remember much about this movie. I remember the main character has a fake mustache that is super distracting, and it is almost like it's too close to the book. It's so much of a faithful adaptation that it's actually a detriment. I remember, I think it's like 3 hours long, and they have a lot of stuff from the book that's not in other versions, at least not at the time. They have the black gas, they have the flying machine. So it's interesting in that regard, but it's not worth watching in my opinion. And they've made like 1 million War of the Worlds movies since. They have like 2 TV shows on right now, I think, and Tubi has a new War of the Worlds movie like every other day. So I doubt I'll be able to get caught up with all the War of the Worlds adaptations.